President Trump today said China, North Korea's only ally, can do a lot more to resolve the crisis. And he said he thinks China will. He even suggested he'd give China a better trade deal in return. CBS News correspondent Ben Tracy is in Beijing. Ben, how likely is it, do you think, that China will step up?
It's not likely at all. I mean, North Korea does depend on China for about 90% of its trade, but it's unclear at this point how much North Korea will even listen to what China says. In fact, the regime is very upset with China because it went along with those tough U.S. sanctions. Now, theoretically, China could cut off North Korea's oil supply, and eventually that could cause the regime to collapse. But the fear is that you would then have refugees streaming across China's border, and that's not something that it wants. Even more so if there is a war on the Korean Peninsula. China believes that South Korea and the U.S. would eventually win that war, and the U.S. military on China's border is not something it's going to tolerate.
Ben, what about China's relationship with this White House?
Well, I'd say it's complicated at best. The Chinese prize stability and predictability, and President Trump is constantly throwing them for a loop. One day he'll compliment China on its efforts to rein in North Korea, and the next day he threatens them with a trade war. Just today, Trump sent a U.S. Navy ship into waters that China claims it's its own, and that's only antagonized them more. When you consider how much the U.S. needs China right now on this particular issue of North Korea, these sorts of actions are not likely to help. Anthony?
Ben Tracy in Beijing, thanks.